All right. Happy work from home week one.
Woo!
Or I
Hello.
guess this is
Woo.
week two. You're
End
all
of
good.
week one. Week
Yeah.
one recap.
Recap. Exactly. So obviously we had this idea to come together virtually as a team and kind of share some of our experiences of what it was like to work from home. We're fairly, all tech savvy individuals. So Zoom is nothing new for us, but obviously we've been having a lot of conversations this week and last week about the difference and what are the best practices and things like that. So we'll roundtable some questions here. So anyone have any ideas or any thoughts on, getting into that routine of work from home? Has it been hard, or anyone want to share any experiences?
Uh, well, I'll go ahead and say that I work from home every day. So over the past few months, I've kind of established a routine of my own. And I just find it to be a lot less rushed in the morning. I can kind of take my time, enjoying breakfast, making my tea. And then my big tip is to always change clothes. You don't have to put on fancy clothes, but just get out of your PJs and in something besides, lounge clothes all the time.
Yeah, and I know for you, Jory, like you have an office space in your house.
Right.
So do you find that like you have to be in your office to be productive, or like is isolating a workspace for yourself part of that routine for you?
I kind of mix it up. I typically work down here, but sometimes it's nice to, if it's super sunny out, I'll go upstairs and work from like the kitchen table just to get a change of scenery. But I typically work down here, and I purposely made this office really cozy so I would want to be down here a lot. And I find that I am really focused down here. I've got my two monitors, and I just feel very productive in this setup.
Awesome. And Lauren, you're in a studio, so how does that work for you?
I am in a studio apartment. So right now I'm at my kitchen table. I have some nice little stools right here, but yeah, I do end up resorting to doing work in my bed. Yesterday, Juan and I had a call, and I was above the covers. So that's like the most important thing.
A different sort of cozy.
A different sort of cozy. But I'll do website stuff like laying on my belly. I do most of my calls, usually not at our team meeting in the morning from this table, but yeah, it helps me to be not as comfortable, I guess.
Sure.
But yeah, I feel like I've been actually doing a decent amount of work and not having trouble staying focused. So
And you also like to move a lot, like when you're working. So I
I
feel like this gives you the freedom to, do jumping jacks or, kick a leg
stand
up in
up.
the air.
Yeah. I
Lauren
won't
was
do
the
that right
ballerina,
now.
by the way. And then Juan, what about you? Obviously, you're sharing your space with your wife a little bit as well, correct?
Yeah, so we're both working from home, but we kind of are pretty good at respecting each other's space. So pretty much until 5, we kind of ignore each other. That way, we each can focus on what we're doing. Typically, I'm the one who struggles the most with work from home because I get distracted easily, and it's hard at home. With we have 3 little cats, so everything running around and jumping gets me all distracted from what I'm doing. But keeping a routine, so getting ready in the morning, grabbing a cup of coffee, kind of keeping it as close as my daily routine minus the commute helps a lot to keep me on track on what I'm doing. And then the fact that I do have a full setup at home, so I have 2 screens and I have my rising desk, so I can go from sitting to standing. It just keeps me on track with my day task.
That's been huge for me as well, as just kind of the setup. Obviously, in our office, we all have a second monitor if need be, and I just find myself a lot more productive if I can have, you know, a larger digital workspace. So obviously, this is not my normal setup. I'm working from a guest room right now, but I do have my second monitor, and for me, it's just been really easy, at least to fall into that same habit of routine when it comes to working on projects and things like that. So yeah, I would say if people are working from home and they are used to that 2 monitor setup, it would be worth the investment just to have one available to you if you're not able to take one home with you. Lauren, you do not have your second monitor. How has that been?
I do not have my second monitor right now. It's been okay. Yesterday I was working on a website and I had a lot of stuff that I needed to like drag and drop places. So started to feel it a little bit. Might be making a trip to the office soon to go grab that. Not quite sure where I'll put it yet.
Your dining room table is a great spot.
Yeah,
Nice stand.
it's like where I do all my cooking. Right now it has, half my pantry on it. Yeah, I have another little table. It's up at the front. It's not as good of a setup. I can't see the window and stuff. So we'll see.
part of what we've been experiencing, and part of the reason why I am kind of secluded out of the main dining room area, is, do you find yourself snacking a lot more because your kitchen is accessible?
Yes.
I'm the opposite. I like forget to eat. I don't know why.
I do too, and that's like I've been really good about meal planning for the past few weeks and the next couple weeks as well. But during like the normal times, I have to like really plan out when I'm going to eat lunch and what I'm going to eat. Otherwise, it's just like I'm just snacking all day, and then 5 o'clock rolls around, and I'm like, I'm starving, and I don't want to eat until like 7 when my husband gets home. So it's, yeah, you just have to think about what you're going to eat and like make it a point.
Yeah, I'm with you on, like, if I'm in the kitchen, I have to grab something. Luckily we bought a bunch of healthy snacks, so there's like apples and clementines and stuff. But yeah, I can't work from the proximity of the kitchen.
So Juan and I had a meeting yesterday at 2, and at like 12:30, I was like, oh man, like it's already 12:30. Like I probably won't have enough time to eat lunch before Juan and I talk. Because like I just didn't want to make food. Like I
Sure.
didn't want to like go through the motions of like cooking another meal. And I was like, I guess I just don't have time. Like,
Well, you know how I feel about protein bars, which that's always good to have handy, especially now.
Yeah, like we've been going through a lot of dishes lately, just since we're cooking every meal and we're both home. So,
and what have been our engagements as a team? I feel like we still kind of have that organic connection. Obviously, we've been doing morning check-ins where we just hop on and everyone does a quick little stand-up to get us motivated, which for me personally, I know it's more for me, just to kind of align myself with what everyone is working on. But other than that, I feel like we still have that same connection that we do in the office. Obviously, there's not as much room for little pop-up conversations and sharing experiences, but how has everyone felt on that side?
Yeah, I felt like we've kept it really open and like we're running business as usual. Plus, we just started using Slack. So I think that's fun and kind of like more informal type of conversations.
Jory and I send each other a lot of Instagram posts that are relevant to our lives. So she sent me, John Mulaney went live this weekend and his French Bulldog Petunia was in it. So, 2 of my favorite things. Sent me that.
And Juan, any thoughts?
I enjoy our morning meetings. Usually I start my day on the couch, drinking my coffee while we have our like morning team huddle. And then just throughout the day, like the Slack is always good. Like it still gives us the option, like if we were in the office, to have like that random joke or, the random emoji. So it keeps it up. Like it makes us feel closer, although we probably haven't seen each other in a while. But yeah, it's good to have it.
Yeah, and then on that note as well, I think Trello for us, obviously we've been Trello, praisers forever, but I think we're finally falling into that rhythm where if it is a new project, it's framed out in a specific way. We're getting all of the details. There is that extra thought put into the delegation process of that, and I know confidently that if it's going to be a project where one of you is going to be doing the majority of the lifting on it, that like as if we go through that process, like all of the details are there and we don't necessarily need to jump into that in-person meeting. And we always have Zoom if we have questions, and at least we get to see each other's faces and talk through that, which is basically organic as well. So Any thoughts on other kind of tools to keep us organized?
I think our calendars, the fact that like we are all used to putting everything in our calendars, whether it's like a personal like busy time in the middle of the day or like what meetings, it makes it so easier because if we need each other, we can just hop on our calendars and I know exactly like when you have time or what you're working on. So it's just so much easier to collaborate when you know like I'm not intruding on anything that the other person was working on.
Definitely. And on the flip side of that, I do feel like you have to commit to a suite of technology, right? Like, obviously, we had a text message chain that wasn't working so well because we're all on different devices. And by all of us, I mean one of us. We won't get
Somebody
into
owns an Android.
We love the names, Juan.
but I feel like if our communication platform is going to be, email for client facing, Trello for project management, and Slack for internal communication, with an occasional G-chat here and there, and then everyone's calendar is up to date and ready to go on our Google calendars, that's all we need to operate for business as usual, right? So I think the potential pitfall with that is if you start to layer on, okay, this is a perfect excuse to try out a whole bunch of new different platforms, and all of a sudden you're communicating in 18 different platforms with your team, there's a huge potential trapdoor in that process.
Yep, absolutely. Even yesterday, Greg, when I was G-chatting you, I was like, oh crap, I should probably be using Slack.
Yeah, and I think part of that is to have that awareness as a team. That I know when I sent out the Slack invite, I said let's give it a try. But it does take that conscious effort for you to train yourself to communicate. And obviously, you're always going to have the ability to text someone, or to G-chat, or to use a different platform. So it's making that conscious decision to commit to that software you're using as well.
I turned on my desktop notifications yesterday. I was like, I have really bad FOMO. So anybody's talking and I don't know about it, I get really scared I'm missing out on something. So I had to turn those on yesterday. But it's been good because every time someone posts something in there, I know what's happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I end up buying a milk frother, by the way.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to Target to pick it up, the drive up thing today.
I didn't get that notification. I don't know why. So now I'm like, oh my God, what else am I missing? But it's okay. I'm on there right now.
Jory tried to make a latte with a immersion blender instead of a milk frother yesterday.
I
was very resourceful. I used the lavender from that little satchel from the event that we were.
Yeah.
And I made lavender simple syrup. And then I have oat milk, and now I'm just waiting to pick up my frother, and then I can make it's called a Windy City. It's an Earl Grey latte with oat milk and lavender simple syrup. So now I can make it. I'm so excited.
Amazing.
I think I have a milk frother, but it's like a hand one.
Yeah, that's fun.
Try that out.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it works. I'll report back.
I was a barista.
And on that note, everyone's been saving money, right?
Right.
Because I haven't had access to a Starbucks in about 7 days. I might be losing my mind because of that, but I am having some ground coffee that may have not the freshest. It's not the freshest brewed, but it's doing the trick and saving some money. So. Awesome.
I'm like the hazelnut latte. Sorry, I have to.
No, please.
Talk about this. I get a hazelnut latte every morning before I come into work. There's a coffee shop I go to that's right underneath the train. They've been closed. They closed before restaurants and stuff did. So it's been a
struggle.
It's been hard. It's been hard. I won't lie. But yeah, the Starbucks that is around the corner from me is closed now. I haven't gone out to eat since last Saturday. I haven't even ordered anything because I'm kind of scared to do that. Yeah. But yeah, I know it's crazy. I'm like, my bank account has just been staying at the same level.
Yeah, I think I spent $7 yesterday total just to get the milk frother from Target.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I go to the grocery store, spend a fair amount there every couple days, but.
And Juan, you've been ready for the apocalypse for probably years now, so.
Yeah, it's our normal state of readiness just went up a little bit, so we're good. But I don't go to Starbucks anymore. Ever since I started with eGuide, I have been drinking the office coffee just because it's convenient. I mean, occasionally we take like a Starbucks run, but yep. So it hasn't been that hard. I've been drinking less coffee, that's for sure. Working from home.
I've been
Um,
drinking more. It's
yeah,
there. I drink it.
I'm only down to like my morning coffee cup, but normally like I'll have one here at home before going to the office, one at the office, and maybe another one midday. So
Wow.
that's good.
Nice. Well, I think we'll check back in. Obviously, as things progress, I think it's nice for everyone to see our faces and to have some of these shared stories and experiences. So as we're getting acclimated and as time goes by, I think this is a great way for us to share with you some of our experiences. So stay tuned and until next time.
Bye.
I